We judge. So for today's episode, we have Stevie.
Woo!
Hi, I'm Stevie, and
Yeah,
I have been friends with Lay for a good few years now. It feels like, is it like a year now? Just
yeah. I
over?
think it's more than a year. It's 20. We started meeting in 2021. Yeah, more than almost a year now. Like
Crazy,
pretty much a
crazy.
year.
Yeah, that's mad.
so so as far as I'm aware, you have had like a few career changes in
Yes.
your journey so far. So would you mind sharing us with maybe start with what did you study if you happen to have studied in
Mhm.
university or college?
Yeah, so I started my kind of career journey, I guess, um, in engineering. I studied mechanical engineering at university. And then quite quickly kind of moved from that. So I studied to be a science teacher. Um,
Oh,
Ah,
yeah, so after my degree, I got a PGCE in secondary science, focusing on physics mostly. Um,
mm-hmm.
but since then, I haven't really used it very much. So right now, I work in digital marketing. And I also do YouTube on the side. But that doesn't make a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not my main income. My main income is from digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. I see. So what um so what actually gave you the courage per se courage to move from one field to another because it's really not something I would even think about. I don't think Justin here would even think about making any changes yet
yeah,
on our careers or like on our majors.
yeah.
So
Was there like a motivating factor per se?
I think, yeah, for me, like the most important thing in my life is that I'm always enjoying it, that I'm always happy. So I think if I find myself not really enjoying kind of the path that I'm on, then I'm more than happy to just change and try something new. Yeah, for me, I think I get bored easily, and I don't know. I just, yeah, if I feel myself kind of like in a lull, not quite enjoying kind of where I feel like I'm going, then yeah, I'll just try something else and see how I feel. I think I'm a bit like the grass is always greener kind of
On the
attitude
other
to
side.
things. So yeah, if I see something else where I'm like, that interests me, I kind of want to have a go at that, then I will just do it. Which, like, I don't know, a lot of people find that interesting and they're like, wow, that's so brave. It might be a bit stupid, I'm not sure, but so far it's worked fine, and it hasn't been too bad. So yeah, I think that that's the main thing. I just always want to try new things and always want to kind of search for that, like, just make sure that I'm happy with what I'm doing. So yeah, that's why I think.
I see.
I think that's a really reasonable mindset as well.
Yeah, it
Doing
is.
what you love, doing what you like, have
Mm-hmm.
fun along the way.
Yeah,
Mm.
and but because you said you did a degree in engineering before, and
Hmm.
then you switched to science, teaching science,
Yeah.
and then you were also a part-time YouTuber. So
Yes.
let's just talk about the past. Like, so what are the like differences between like it's like on the other end of the spectrum, like total two ends of the spectrum, doing YouTube as a part time and actually doing science as well. So
Yeah.
what are the differences?
Yeah, so at that stage of my life it was really weird, to be honest. Like, it was very, very, very different. There was absolutely no
Mm-hmm.
crossover whatsoever. Um, I guess at that point I was seeing YouTube as more of just a hobby and something that I do in my spare time. Even though it was something that I wanted to pursue more seriously. Um, I kind of saw it as like that's what I do for kind of like to pursue my happiness, and then the teaching side was more serious, and that was kind of, where I was going with my career and with like my professional side kind of thing. So yeah, it was sort of two very separate worlds at that point. Now because I work in digital marketing, they're much closer, and I also kind of take the YouTube side more seriously. Um, but yeah, I guess like the YouTube is just more somewhere where I can like be a little bit more free and creative, and kind of put more of my personality into it, I guess. Whereas on the other side, it's kind of more my head is down a little bit more, and I'm like it's my more serious persona, I guess. Um, but I think it teaches me to kind of bring creativity to like every aspect of my life. Um, I find that it just like it makes me more of an open person, and just I guess like think more outside of the box when I'm working. So it always does seem to like complement what I'm doing, even if it seems like it's absolutely just like so random and absolutely nothing to do with what I'm doing on like my more serious worky side. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of like that. Let the creativity flow, do whatever.
Mm.
Like really get to just pursue whatever it is that I'm feeling like I want to do at that point. Um, so yeah, it complements that quite well, I think. Even if it is very different.
It's a bit like us too.
Also,
I mean, if you think about it, we are doing this like as a passion project as well, and it's also we're letting our creative juices, we're expressing ourselves on our channel as well, and you know,
Yeah.
doing dentistry on the other side is like more of a serious thing as well. So yeah, I kind of can see more or less where you're going at, you know. So
actually, I like how Stevie mentioned that it complements each other.
yeah.
Yeah, so how you can express yourself from a personal angle as well as from a professional angle, and that how it complements, being that it's quite healthy to say that you're expressing yourself in the way that you want, and that you can bring out the better side during your professional career. And I think that's amazing mindset that I didn't really think about.
Yeah,
Really.
I don't think anyone else would have thought about it either.
So
But
kudos to that. Kudos to that.
yeah, and
Yeah. I'm sure it's the same for you
so
guys too.
yeah, it's pretty similar in a way. But yeah, we are still being kind of a bit more guarded as well.
Asians being Asians.
Yeah, we're agents, so. So you have mentioned that you're taking YouTube a little bit more serious. So, what are the pros and cons of doing YouTube?
Pros,
Realizing.
yeah, pros obviously it's like you're your own boss. You get to do whatever you feel like doing. You're not stuck in that kind of 9 to 5. You can kind of just work when you're feeling creative, and when that works for you. But the cons of that is obviously there's no structure, which is quite scary. It's also, I mean, we, especially for K-pop, because that's kind of like our niche, it's really, really hard to make money from. That yeah, we find it really, really difficult to monetize what we do, really. Sponsorships, just any of the money side, it's really, really challenging to find people that are willing to pay us, basically. For some reason in our niche, it's just we're expected to do it for free. So that is definitely a huge blocker to being able to pursue it more seriously, and you know, move over to it being a full-time job. But yeah, there's definitely more pros than cons. Obviously, that is a very big one, because if you want to do it full time, you have to be able to make money from it. And there seems to be a bit of an expectation that we're doing it for fun, even from the people that watch us. They kind of expect us to do it for free as well. It shocks people when you mention money. They're like, "What? Like, why would you be doing it for money?" So yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, obviously it's a really creative job. It's very flexible, and it's a lot of fun, which is a big plus.
I think the most important part is that you're having fun.
Yeah, definitely. That's that, as I said before, like that is the main goal in life, is just to be enjoying myself all the time. So
So, one question that maybe you could think about it as well, do you regret making like the decision to change from like engineering to teaching and then to
Secretarial sciences,
and then now you're part-timing?
in digital marketing as well as YouTube.
Yeah, like, do you
yeah,
have any regrets?
I've never regretted any of the decisions I've ever made, to be honest. I always think that things
Lovely.
happen. Yeah, no, I think things happen for a reason, and you just have to work with what you're doing, to be honest. So yeah, no, I've never regretted it. I've always felt like I've made the right decision when I have. I've had other jobs in between as well, so just like in retail and hospitality at a cafe. But yeah, every time I always enjoy it, and I think it's really important to broaden your horizons and try new things. So yeah, I've never regretted any of it. I'm happy with where I am now.
Okay, so I guess it is safe to assume that, if you were to go back in time and you are faced with the same thing again, you would be making the same decision.
Yeah, I mean, I can't 100% say that I'd make the same decision. I might have ended up trying other things even before university, like I might have gone and studied something else. But I think that I would have still sort of been in the same pattern of trying out different things. Like I don't think that part of it would have changed if I went back now.
So, so far you have been how long did you do
Digital marketing.
your digital marketing?
So it's been around. This is very, very new. 3.5 months I've been in my new job.
Oh,
that's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Which one is the longest? Like, which part of your career that lasts the longest and it's most memorable to you?
That's a good question. What have I done for the longest?
Gotcha.
To be honest, my studying has been the longest. So my degree has been like the longest period of time of me doing the same thing, which is quite bad if you think about it, actually. I really don't spend a lot of time sticking things out, I guess. I actually, my longest job was when I worked for an anime shop. I worked for them all through university, and then afterwards as well. So in fact, I started in school, so I think I worked for them for about 9 years in total. Even though obviously it was very part-time when I was studying. But after that I worked for them full-time. And that's kind of where the digital marketing side came from, because I did a lot of their social media, and I actually made YouTube videos for them as well. So I think that's most memorable, and I think the main reason why I was there for so long was because everything was always changing. It never felt too stagnant. So it was a really exciting job, and I got to meet a lot of very interesting and very passionate people. So I really enjoyed that. And obviously it was like it felt like a hobby at the same time as well, because it was an anime shop, so it was very kind of like in line with my interests.
So like you have to keep studying the current trends, you have to keep up with the trends. So that's what attracts you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very interesting.
So that's just the same as binge watching.
I guess that is kinda right.
Kinda right. But then there's always the sub-trend or the hidden goal underneath the mind. Where every now and then, like maybe something is a little bit overhyped and those underhyped, and then just playing in with the trend to see what works best, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Overrated and underrated stuff.
Yeah, that's my favourite thing to do, is just like get people into things that they never would have heard of before. and just like push all of the things that I really like. I'm like, you should do this. Just because
So-
I like it, you should buy this stuff.
Okay, I see. So if you would to go back and tell you who is still like maybe 5 years ago, or like when you're just out of high school going into university, what would you tell the Stevie who's like a few years ago?
Yeah, oh, that's a good question. I think I'd say, I think back then I was less open with like who I was. I think I like hid a lot of things from sort of new people that I wasn't so comfortable with. So I think if I was to go back now, I'd tell myself to not do that. There's no point in hiding who you are, especially with people that you're trying to make a connection with, because they're going to find out at some point that you're crazy. So you may as well just start crazy.
Well,
And then it naturally filters out the people that you wouldn't end up wanting to be friends with anyway. So yeah, I think just to be more open and not worry about what other people think of you, because you're not bad, you're pretty fun, so it's fine.
I wouldn't consider Stevie crazy though. Would you, Justin? I don't think she's crazy.
Not enough.
Yeah, I mean, not enough. Definitely, we have seen like
Still within the realm of
Still-
reasonable.
yeah.
A normal level of
So-
crazy.
Normal level.
There's just so many different types of people, you see. So
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
good. Okay. We can say it's a good crazy.
yeah, it's a good crazy. As long as you're not, crazy, psycho crazy, then that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still winning yourself some bread. It's reasonable.
So, last question. This is because you have come through so many changes, so many different career changes, experimenting here and there. What advice do you have to those who are actually contemplating or thinking of a career change?
I think the main thing is just to be brave and not worry about it too much. I think if you end up regretting it, it's not a big deal. You can go back to what you were doing before, or you can try something else. I think people worry too much about making big changes like that in their life, but nothing is permanent. You don't have to keep doing it if you don't like it. And I think that's really important. So yeah, I think just be brave and try it, and not worry too much about the consequences, because you'll be okay. It will always be fine, and it will always work out in the end. And I think it's just always really important to pursue something if you think that it's going to make a positive change in your life. So just give it a go.
Yeah.
And not worry. Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can worry about, right? So
Exactly. I think it's the main thing that holds people back, is just worrying about what might happen, but you don't know until you do it. So you've just got to go for it and not worry anymore.
I mean, it's called future for a reason, right?
Exactly.
So that's what we have from Stevie today. Any last words?
Thank you for having me.
So that's with Stevie today, and in the meantime, in
In
TF
TF,
we
we
judge.
judge.